Hello, sexy souls. How are you all doing? Alrighty. So we're probably going to start off with doing maybe a what is it called? General read, possibly, because people aren't used to me doing this, so we may need to just start off that way until more people can join. How are you, Terry? Right, this is Weird and Woo Woo, where I'm weird and we get woo woo. So it's kind of in the title and the name of the channel. If that's not your shtick, if that's not your thing, by all means, go find your channel that is. We wish you well. Thank you for briefly joining. Have a fantastic, wonderful day. Yes, it's funny because I keep being encouraged, but I gotta just tell you, there's a lot of resistance inside of me, and it feels like a no. But I'm trying it anyways because I kept also feeling like go ahead and try it again. So yeah, we're going to wait because if there's only one person, like there has to be a group of people for me to be able to do what I do for the readings and stuff like that. So we might need to pull some cards until. And I used to get like a ton of like I'm just not the reader that wants to do a ton of when will my divine counterpart show up? While that can be important at times, is so and so gonna come back to me? Is so and so gonna leave so and so for me? I'm like, don't do that codependent bullshit. Okay. By all means, we all get to have questions about our love life and everything, but a lot of the ones that come through are not worth spirit's time. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's just, So if we start heading in that direction, then I'll cut it off. Does that make sense? Like I don't do that. I don't play in those. It just gets really old. Really, really, really old. Sorry. I wanted to keep going for a little bit. Keep myself clean. Hey, Manishka, how are you? I don't know why today the freaking stuff makes me. I look green. Do I not look green? I look green. I don't know what the deal is, but. Oh, I miss sitting by my window where there was natural light and not all this artificial light. It's a little bit better. It's kind of bright, but I'll change it around. All right, let's see here. There was a whole lot before I came on. It felt like somebody kind of putting people in their place. It feels like a person who normally, when they're challenged, would just kind of either go quiet, back down, and just well, we'll just have to disagree. And it's I felt like somebody was ready to go toe to toe with anybody that wants to sit there and project onto them, because it feels like that's really what happens. I feel like there's somebody out there having a lot of people project onto them, and somehow they're just supposed to keep their mouth shut about it. You've seen this in the spiritual community, people who the all love and light and this, that, and the other, and I'm doing so great kind of thing, but really they just are full of shit and project a lot of shit onto people. It felt that kind of energy. I just singed my poor feather on the Palo Santo. And when people try to put something in the guise of because I love you, or because it's like sometimes people will, instead of accepting responsibility for what they believe, what they hold true, what their stance is, they'll go, oh, you just don't know. you know what, everybody's been there, and they try to turn around on you. It's a very narcissistic tactic that I see perpetuated sometimes, where they try to, it's like it's a facade of, they'd rather act like you don't know what you're talking about, and be condescending to your intelligence, and just be like, oh, well, it's just where you're at, kind of thing. Like, they would never. There's people that just will never admit, either one, that they're wrong, or two, that they're projecting bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, some people will take something and try to spin it as like some type of a spiritual truth, or like this really eloquent piece of like wisdom to shower onto somebody, and really it's just a reflection. It's like a prettied up version of their own projection of shit that they've experienced, and they're trying to make their stance on something, because they still operate from a trigger, because they still have something there, and they try to twist into some kind of spiritual truth so they can like venerate. That's the word I was looking for the other day for Kelsey. No. Was it venerate? I need to write that word down. But it's like, it's that kind of idea. It's so I just felt like somebody was like not having it, because I kept seeing scenarios of somebody putting it back on them, putting the responsibility back on them, putting a mirror up to them and being like, no, and not backing down, not letting somebody get away with that shit. Hey, Aries girl. So I was getting that, and I think that's going to be the energy of some kind of a message that's going to come out. We will do some readings as soon as we get a larger crowd and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a general first, and then we will move into doing a couple of readings today. Okay, guys? So let's get through this energy of, I don't know, and I feel like there's somebody that wants to act like somehow they behave like you're naive, or you're not as knowledgeable as them, or as wizened as them, or like when people try to pretty up their biases and their isms, the thing like this isn't really ableist, and this really isn't sexist. It's this, and it's like okay. And they just try, and their response is to be like, oh, you just don't know. Like, it's that condescension type of thing where like you're somehow ignorant to something, and that you're not as knowledgeable, and they'll educate you, and one day you'll see kind of a thing, and it's like somebody's just not having it. Somebody's not tolerating somebody dressing something up as if it's one thing when it's really not, and then trying to what would be the word, like shift blame onto the other person. Like, it's just not happening. Somebody's not tolerating that shit anymore. So to me, that says somebody has found their voice, has found the strength to establish their boundary, and then do what is necessary to uphold it. Because this is almost the type of energy that will try to push that boundary over. Like, I'm not going to respect it. I'm going to justify by dressing something up what I'm doing, and why I shouldn't have to respect this boundary you've established, and why I can just pretend like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and that way I can ignore this, and that kind of thing. So I think somebody's enforcing a boundary is what it feels like to me. So let's go ahead. Oh, Starman Tarot. Let's see. Aries. I was like, I'm peacing out though. Bye. Okay. There's definitely a start for something new here. There's a new start here. I heard popping off, something popping off. I just saw something I haven't seen in this card before. I've had this deck for quite some time when it very first came out. Okay. All right, guys, let's see here. Okay. Something being ushered in. Okay, this is probably going to pick up where we left off with the last one, but it is so funny. We have 3 cards and 3 cards that are pretty much saying the same fucking thing using different cards. And it's funny because they both feel like the same fucking energy. We have something that is closely related. We have something popping off and an opportunity that are like intertwined. Okay. Because we have the 7 of Pentacles, which is finally the work being put into something or the preparation for something paying off because something breaks ground. But then we have the Page of Pentacles as well, which is the same thing, like some new opportunity, a new potentiality. But these two are intertwined. The reason I say that is because right here, you got the Sahara Desert, right? And you have right here, if you can see, a lonely rose, like blooming out of nowhere, where you don't think, like, it doesn't seem natural for it to come from that place. It's like nothing, poof, something happens, right? And then right next to it, we have, that's a cracked egg. I don't know if you can see, I'm so short. That's like an egg that's been broken open. On this Page of Pentacles, which they call the Princess of Pentacles, which would be like a new physical opportunity, an offer, opportunity, that type of thing. Something being extended to you because it's a page. You see this thing? We have yet again very rocky ground and a plant breaking ground. And at what surrounds that? Look how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eggs, with one of them being. I hate this. I hate when my thing does not focus. Let's try to do this. There it is. You see that? You see that? It's almost as if we're going to get back to that little story where something starts to pop off. Something finally begins to arise out of all of this preparation. And it's going to be closely intertwined with some type of opportunity that also leads to other new beginnings. So it's like something finally starts, something finally begins, and it is enmeshed with some type of somebody extending something, like I'm extending an opportunity, I'm extending, whatever. And they're intertwined. Something popping off has something to do with somebody giving you an opportunity, and that opportunity is going to lead to other new beginnings as well. Like the whole idea of this thing being extended to you and you getting a chance, is going to lead to more things. And it's funny because we have the red ruby slipper here, and in the Wizard of Oz, the ruby slipper is someone's way home. Someone's way home. The other ruby slipper is way back here. So it's almost as if one of the ways to get back to or on course with or in alignment with yourself or back home, back to your natural state. I don't know why they're giving me like your home isn't where you're at. almost like we're getting woo-woo. You're meant to go somewhere that is like home for you in a past life. Like a place is calling to you. So, but this opportunity is like one of the slippers you would need in order to be able to click your heels and go back home, to go back to your support, to find a support network, to find your family, right? Wizard of Oz, Dorothy does that. It was always the way. It's the way. It was always the way for her. And it's no joke, because obviously this Page of Pentacles is looking an awful lot like the Empress, right? She's very pregnant with potentiality, about to give birth to something. So it's almost as if this opportunity then gives birth to these other new things, right? And so you're something that you've given a lot of preparation to and a lot of energy to is going to be very fruitful and beneficial. Something about it's going to pop off, because I want to say, because I feel like the human in me wants to be like, let's not say because, but there is an offer on hand. There's an opportunity on hand. And the reason I say that it's an offer is because we then have the King of Wands. This doesn't feel like you. This feels like somebody else. Because see, we have this. We have the Seven of Pentacles. And what I want to say is the Seven of Pentacles is someone that sees what you've done in preparation, that has what you've done to try and cultivate and make something grow out of nothing, right? Like this is like the baby beginnings. Like, ooh, this could be something. Somebody sees that. Somebody sees you pregnant with potentiality. Like just, oh, there's a lot of opportunity here with this person. And so it's like they're going to add to this thing that's breaking ground, this thing that breaks ground, right? And take a look at it. The way that this is, the reason why I say, I know these cards come first before the King of Wands. Look at how the King of Wands is watching this. He's facing the direction of this one, right? And I feel like this King of Wands just knows all that could actually happen. All the potentiality. And is the one that would like to extend some form of opportunity. Like maybe what you have put your time and energy into and what you've prepared is kind of popping off, but not as big as it could, right? Like you're doing everything you can, not as big. It's only one little thing that's kind of like started, and they're like, you could even like put these, it would be big ass seeds. I'm going to call these eggs new beginnings. That's the way it came across to me. But like they're going to give you more seeds to plant so that you can grow more of a harvest, because they know you're the one that can make something big. Almost like, it's like, okay, they're giving me this idea. Like someone has an idea for a TV show, right? But it's like, it's something that wouldn't pop off unless you had the right personality for it. And so someone sees something that you're doing and they're like, that would be like the perfect, like you'd be the perfect addition to something. You'd be the perfect, like there's something about you and your tenacity. I don't know why they just said that. And you're, just you. And they're like, if I gave them more, it could grow. So this could be an investor, like somebody who's willing to kind of like back you and support you and that kind of stuff. But it feels more like, there would be a benefit, like a mutual benefit. It'd be mutually beneficial. I couldn't get it out to save my life. Because look at the way that he's doing. Look what he's doing. He's growing, and these are like little fetuses growing in these little protective bubbles and things like that. And he's the one that's like, his staff is like putting the energy into it, the energy that is necessary to bring something to life. So it's almost as if it's like he's like somehow adding you to the mix brings something to life, and it opens a lot of doors for you. So there's a mutually beneficial situation here. But then we have over here, we have, again, 2 cards, right? And a court card, just like over here. And this King of Pentacles, in this situation, the King of Pentacles sometimes shows up as somebody different, but in this situation, King of Pentacles feels like they are the King of Wands. This is the same individual. And it's like they're saying the same thing. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, something new, the Ace of Pentacles, which is offered to this Empress type individual. It's almost like you would make something pop off for them, and in return, it would open up so many doors for you. That's what it's like. Does that make sense? It would bring so many more opportunities for you. So there's something about you that would make something either make sense or thrive on their end, and then, but would also bring a lot of opportunities to you. Like by them just giving you this opportunity, you then have the, like your center stage where other people would want from you as well. So somehow this would elevate acknowledgement, recognition to you. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, which I believe is what is on offer. Page of Pentacles being brought into you. And what they're saying is what's on offer, they're being guided to bring to you because we have the Star card with the Ace of Pentacles. It's like, to me, this is following the North Star, right? This is being guided somewhere. And so if this is between the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, it feels as if Spirit has a hand in this. Either pointing this King of Pentacles in your direction to see, recognize, and acknowledge you, or like some orchestration for you to come across one another's path. Or sometimes, you know how Spirit will kind of like turn the volume up on something for us. So it's like undeniable. We can't ignore it. We have to hear it. Does that make sense? Hey, Anna. So the King of Pentacles in this sense is being like intuitively guided or feels compelled to, or is almost like it's coordinated somehow. Destined, like they feel like they're being guided to do this, to extend that. So to me, that's just Spirit having a hand in it, and this individual just knowing. It's a knowing, right? With the Star card here. And it's funny, take a look at this. In the Ace of Pentacles, the book that would normally be held by the High Priestess, where something is orchestrated, destined, meant to be, pre-written, all that kind of stuff. Or like, it's almost like what Spirit was privy to all along, and you may not have been, will be revealed because the book is open. And then all of these eggs of potentiality, they're all below ground. There's a theme here of something sprouting, something that has had to take root, something that has had to have the time of preparation, the energy put behind it so that it can grow, like something that has firm rooting so that it can survive. It grows, it breaks ground. Again, this is breaking ground. So it is the idea of something breaking ground, something finally being like some type of information finally being highlighted, because we got that over here, something being highlighted, you know, where it's like you're being let in on the secret, like you're being let in on the plan. And it's the idea that it's been a part of the plan all along, because we have another book down here open where all the roots are being, so it's like it was intentional. Something is very intentional about the preparatory phase and then it taking off. Also down here, we got all these little eggs that are here, but this is a person. I don't know if you can see. Let me get closer so you can tell. You've been in this preparation phase. You've been in this birthing phase. I want you to get a really good, see it, see the legs, see how it almost reminds me of the Avatar movie, where the tree of life and all like the Cashapp records kind of like infuses you. So you are being given some very etheric, esoteric, mystical type of information. Like it was a part of the plan. There has been some level of knowledge imbued in you. That's the word they're giving me during this preparatory phase that will be beneficial to this whole entire situation. It's almost like you having a knowing too. There might be a bit of a premonition in this, where a lot was very etherical and a lot was discovered in the etheric before it became material. Ace of Pentacles. All right, let's figure this out. It's funny. I don't know why they brought me over here again. King of Pentacles, because we were even though he's very rooted and doing well in life, so this is what we can see of him and what he's created materially within his life. He's very etheric. Take a look at him. First off, he's floating. He has minimal ties to the material, minimal ties to the earthly realm. Okay, there's one little tiny rope. Okay, connected to this pentacle down here. And then we have this anchor. He's not anchored into anything. And his horse doesn't have legs. Well, it has these little fake golden looking things coming from it, but it's really it's floating. So a lot of what he a lot of what you will see in the King of Pentacles life is a direct reflection because of his connection with spirit, with the etheric, with his intuition. He only has it. He's minimally anchored into our reality. That's not where his true magic comes from. And it's almost as if he needs the help getting back down sometimes. Like he's more comfortable up here. Okay. So that's why what you see external to him only exists because of this, of how he exists, because of his connection. Like he's risen above being chained to or a slave of this material realm. Yeah, this is the opportunity, the resource, the whatever, right? Again, it's like what he gives you almost elevates you. It creates a larger pop off. This is the sacred clown is the full card. Good Lord, I couldn't words today. Where are they? The clown with the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles has been showing up a lot lately. Six of Pentacles is either the resources or what it is that you need being brought in to balance some things out, right? To elevate you, to bring you back up. So what is the, okay, what do you want to tell us about this? As a Thoth Tarot here. And the thing I want to say about him is, this isn't necessarily somebody who at first glance, like what he's gained materially or what he's achieved and the way in which his life looks, it doesn't seem at first glance connected to or correlated with his intuition, his spirituality, his ability to connect with the etheric, downloads, and like it doesn't. But that's what's behind this. So this isn't somebody who like probably is, they're not like the spiritual guru, or they have a spiritual practice or something like that, and that's what they're known for. It doesn't feel like that to me. It's curious. I guess they're giving us the idea of something coming into you and giving you the behind the scenes knowledge and knowing. They're like, hey, we do have a hand in this. We've had a hand in this to give him this information. We've had a hand in this to guide him towards this offer, towards you who we've been preparing. Also, we're stuck right here in the middle in all of this. And all of this is soon to be revealed to the both of you. Okay? It's going to be revealed to the both of you. It's as if the phase in which you are coming from, where you were incubated and infused and imbued with certain things, was like a blessing and a curse. Because I'm getting here, we've got the Hermit and the High Priestess, which is both reflecting coming to some divine knowledge, inner truth, and being guided by that. But then in the center of that, what's between this, like it's almost like the hermit mode and the isolation was necessary for the attainment of this. And almost as if the High Priestess, there was this higher knowing of its purpose and what was going on, and that spirit was always in the know. Because High Priestess, again, is the one that has the book. Sometimes it's closed, sometimes it's open. But it's the knowledge of the etheric, and sometimes it's shared with you and sometimes it's not. And that may have been a theme during your hermit mode. Some things being shared, some things being hidden from you, but spirit always being behind the scenes, having a greater intention, seeing the greater plan of something, and you having to feeling like you had to navigate that alone. Because we have the Seven of Swords, which is this feeling of like being deceived because of that. This notion and idea that you don't understand everything, not seeing everything, feeling like spirit had a hand in you being isolated and alone, and feeling like you were being deceived, that you couldn't trust spirit, but then sometimes not trusting yourself. what was the purpose, and that got you caught up. Eight of Swords in your mind, like it felt like because of that sense of yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, isolation, metamorphosis, that you then put yourself in some level of holding pattern as well, or you exhibited resistance, fear, distrust. The two of these together is like a distrust. Like self-imposed entrapment is me choosing to not trust something. I have a bird making noise outside. Right outside the window. They're literally right outside the window. Sorry, birds mean a lot to me. So I get massive symbolism. And it's like remember when I said at the beginning, I feel like you're establishing your boundaries, and how some people will try to gaslight you into believing that either your boundaries are wrong, or treat you as if you're naive, and and so somehow you are not only establishing them, that you're enforcing them, and almost putting people in their place, reminding them where their place is, and that's not over here, that's over there, and that they don't get to project onto you. I got two birds, like two little birds just going at it with each other. I'm sure that's going to play a factor in here. But there's it's almost as if you played out with spirit some of the things that you'd experienced in your life. You know what I mean? Like the areas in which you didn't want to express yourself, like, because we got deceit, and then but also remember the positive aspect of this. I'm sorry, this one, the Seven of Swords, is finding a way to have a positive mental outlook. Like it's what you have to do. Positive mental preparation. I always say positive mental preparation. We just talked about the preparation stage over here, so something could blossom. And we're talking about spirit kind of leaving you in a state where you're imbued with something, some very etheric, esoteric knowledge, some like an understanding you wouldn't get having not been through this. This entire metamorphosis was mental, because there was a lot that you would withhold from because of whatever this is, either your perception of deceit, and they needed you to go from perceiving deception to being the alchemist and taking the necessary steps mentally to be able to see situations clearly, to understand the underlying implications, people's motivations, tactics. So it's almost as if you had to experience something internally. And I think that you play this out with spirit. A lot of this distrust and this anger that you had with spirit, or this feeling of like, I can't really. So it was as if like it was all of that was intentional to teach. You had to figure it out on your own, how to alchemize yourself, to not have vengeance or veneration being your guiding energy, because that's too easy to take you out of your power then, when that is the driving force behind you. And so you had to find a way, and it was literally like clawing yourself out of something. Like you had to dig yourself out of that own hole. And then it created this rich internal world. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the individual that then has everything they need to make the world around them prosperous. The Queen of Pentacles only becomes the Queen of Pentacles because she's mastered her emotional realm, the cups. She's mastered her mental realm, the swords. She's mastered her confidence, her willpower, her determination, her power, which is the wands. And that's how she gets to become the Queen of Pentacles, the badass bitch that can do it all on her own, right? Like your internal world is exceptionally rich, which is what makes you perfect as the high priestess. When you are able to master those other elements internally, it's almost as if that's when you are granted access to a lot more spiritually than you were before. Your ability to know how to direct it, utilize it, implement it, when to do that is established then. And that's what makes now the time for this to come in. It's like you had to win some kind of internal battle. And that is why something can now seemingly pop off or grow out of nowhere. There was a lot of preparation though. Like I feel like as you went through, I feel it because this is Pentacles. So that you were doing things, but really all of that time frame that seemed like nothing happening despite all your best efforts was really meant to create and alchemize something. Like they wanted you to get to a particular state within. What is the Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles? That's an entire book, and I'm not doing it. Page of Pentacles that's being offered by this. We've had this several times. Like this isn't the first time where we had a Page of Pentacles, and the thing that came out was a Page of Cups to describe it. Here's new air elements really quick. The Page of Pentacles is guiding you home somewhere, either to the career you're meant to have, a person you're meant to have, a place you're meant to be. It guides you somewhere. It's like somewhere that you are destined. The reason I say that is because I'm asking about how the Page of Cups matches the Page of Pentacles, and I've got the Star card. Only in this Star card, it's a lighthouse, which guides, which is what I said over here about the stars. There's a lot of guidance in this, like pulling something, spirit having a hand in something. Over here, the Page of Pentacles had the ruby red slippers, like the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's way home. It's her way home. Some guiding to something that is meant for you, is always for you, that feels like home. It's like guiding you in. Something's guiding you into something. So whatever it is just meant to lead you somewhere. The Page of Pentacles, what's on offer is really just meant to lead you somewhere. So the way that they're showing me, because the next card that I got was the Judgment card, and I'm trying to figure this one out. And it's as if like when people would get out of a horse and carriage, or they're getting off of a boat, and somebody extends their hand to them and helps them over, right? So imagine somebody just getting out, and like there's it. That's what the Page of Pentacles is. It is the getting you home to something, getting you, it's like the bridge, but instead of giving me a bridge, they're like the hand, the helping hand that gets you somewhere solidly grounded, right? Because if you're getting out of the carriage, you sit down onto solid ground, right? If you're getting out of a boat, it's going like this, you're getting onto solid ground, somewhere stable, secure. And it is the transfer, almost the thing that gets you to that. Almost as if they're getting you out of something. It's to get you somewhere more stable. But you know, when you're getting off of a boat and you're getting out of a carriage, you don't have to grab the person's hand. You can try to do it yourself. You can. But they're trying to like guide you some, you know, it's almost like they're giving you a little bit of stability and they're guiding you on how, you know what I mean, with that. There's something about the hand, and I think that has everything to do with the star card. It is guiding you somewhere, guiding you to this victory where there was a word the other day, and I don't know if it was veneration. I don't know. I don't think it was, where it was like, you are going to be given, like somebody's going to, like somehow spirit's making up to you all the pain that you've been through. All the pain and hermit mode that you've been through. This victory is some level of rebirth. It is allowing something to come to fruition. It's the second leg of life. And it's meant to bring you out of a state of oppression, this very oppressive, dark phase, to one of being able to make things happen and manifesting things and being in charge of your life and being able to direct its course. Are you going to let us know anything specific about it? In what form it'll show up? And why are we talking? It's like some level of hair in my mouth. Ugh. Importance of the idea and notion that there's a level of importance for this person, the King of Wands / King of Pentacles, the one that follows his guidance, and that's the reason his life is the way that it is, and is following the guidance to come towards you, almost as if like he's being brought home to you and you're being brought home to him. I'm just saying him because it's the King of Pentacles. Like, I don't know who this fucker is. Right here, stick with this. We have a family room, which can talk about something close or really nearby, but it can also be your abode, your home, and it can also be your like family. It can that's and then we have bad health, and then we have the thoughts card, which is can be about organizing, planning, witnessing, or somebody like to me it feels like witnessing right now. But it's also your thoughts, right? So if there were any kind of like I get the feeling, I know this seems so specific, but like somebody saw or witnessed or knows that you endured something, because I'm getting like it goes family, health concerns, that consuming somebody's day-to-day understanding, thoughts, their, you know what I mean? Or this could be somebody else's perception on what you were going through. And then we have the coffin card. Give me an understanding of thoughts. It feels like somebody's seeing somebody go through this. But it could be those. This is the thoughts that you like. Somebody could have had some level of tragedy in their life, or things happen with family members that created a very unhealthy thought process. Because the idea behind bad health is can be somebody not doing well, but it's also the idea of the immense level of stress and what it causes somebody. Because the idea is that the bad health that's caused by stress and anxiety and our mental state, you know what I mean? And so it could be that there was just I get the idea that somebody went through something here, and either somebody witnessed it or spirits directly saying what you had to go through and what you had to alchemize had everything to do with what you went through. And that's where the hermit mode was like your take, your perception, your lens had to be reframed from the Seven of Swords, Eight of Swords to this richness. Had to be alchemized, right? But also we can look at this as very, very soon. Any stress that you have had to endure mentally, which is what they've been talking about here, which is what had to be addressed, your mental state will come to an end. It's going to be over. It'll be done. What is this over here? I'm going to have them readdress this. I'm getting bits and pieces, but I feel like it could be said better. Well, for somebody, the idea and notion that somebody hasn't, like, for someone, this King of Pentacles, King of Wands person may very well be aware of something you went through and then felt like you needed the time to work through something. Because we have great fortune with mature man, and then the official person and love. Or Spirit saying, we weren't going to guide this person in, this opportunity, this chance, until you were able to work through some things. Like for somebody, there's an opportunity for a relationship with somebody that is very well off and doing very well in their life. And Spirit's like, they're, and who's to say this person didn't have shit they had to work through too, but Spirit's focusing on you, right? Because that's really where it needs to be at, is on you. And it was like, this couldn't come while you were in this other shit. Great fortune with a mature man. I always look at him like he's like the King of Pentacles because it's very worldly right here. Very expansive, well-traveled, cultured, wise individual. Some level of official right next to Lovers. It's almost as if like, there was no bringing this person in, is what I'm going to say, when you were in that state. It just was not the right time. And even if it's not love, it's like this, it wouldn't have been the right kind of partnership. They wouldn't have viewed you as the ingredient that they need, where things can pop off. It just wouldn't have worked. Like something had to change with your mental state. Anything else, Spirit? It's as if you were too locked up and not willing to go down this path. Like you wouldn't have been open to this. There was an aspect that would have prevented you. It was acted as a blockage to this path. So if you sit here when this arrives and you're like, there, because again, you had to alchemize this. You had to get through this of how you felt so very unfair and like things being kept from you and then some things being given to you. And like, it felt like there was a lot of inner transformation that occurred. And you're like, when it arrives, you're like, why now? Spirit's kind of giving you the backstory. Like we couldn't. And there was something very pertinent about your mindset and your willingness. I just want to say that I feel less resistance, right? Because that's what the Eight of Swords is. The Eight of Swords is self-entrapment. Like you were closing off because of this distrust, because of this perceived deceit. And it wasn't something, and so there may very well for somebody, there's a large level of this real world start, this opportunity that could lead to other doors opening up, could also give way. One of those opportunities could be giving way to love. Does that make sense? And whatever mental state you're going through, whatever in any way it impacted you, whatever you went through that impacted you mentally and your perception and all that kind of stuff, there was a level of refining that had to happen. Because this wouldn't have turned out the way you wanted it to if they brought it in sooner, given your mental state. And there was a potentiality you would have turned it away because of not trusting something, because of feeling, and that's not to say that you still won't have that mental thought when it comes in now. You might be like, why should I? Why now? And Spirit's almost preemptively answering that for you, because it was like it had nothing to do with like any type of intentional withholding and wanting to punish somebody and wanting to be like a dick. It was like because it was too much of an impediment and acted as a block to this path, and you may not have accepted it. So yeah. Alrighty, that's that. Let me do this. All right, hey, LP, how are you? Who have we got? We've got some people now. All right, we're gonna put these away and do a couple of reads. When I get real monotone and really like that's definitely strictly me not dipping into somebody's energy, but that's just spirit's perspective, period, point blank, giving a message. Alrighty, let's see here. Yes, I forgot to do that. I'll put that one up there. All right, guys. I don't know who's here. If anybody is open for a reading, that obviously is going to happen and transpire on the center stage. Please let me know. And normally we play games, but I think today I am just going to pick and choose who I'm drawn to. So, because we are trying to get new people here to build our tribe. I know the way that I just let that burn and the flame get so big, one would think that I just like fire. You know, that kind of thing. Good Lord. Alrighty. Does anybody want one? I have to give, there's a 60-second delay. And it irritates me. But there's a delay. Like, people will try to answer me, you know what I mean? And like YouTube, like, and there's no getting around it because like I can see it like when I'm going live. It's like there will be a 60-minute delay, a 60-second delay. Do you want more of a delay? And I'm like, why would I even want a delay? I mean, I guess I need it because I have a filter on a little bit to like remove certain types of spam and certain words. But good Lord. All right, we're going to start with Scorpio, 1180. Okay, so the way that I do this is it is either you have a specific question or you just want a message from spirit. But let me give my preface to this, guys. I am the reader. I do not control the message that comes through, and I cannot give you information that's not there, right? So sometimes we can ask a question, and spirit's like, guess what? I don't want to talk about that. I need something, say something else to you. I have no control over that. I follow the energy and what is being given to me, okay? However, sometimes you'll also see me, you ask a question and I will sit there and try to help you hone it in. Because sometimes we will ask something and it's like, is that really what we want to know? Because this could, and so if I prompt you to kind of like gauge to make sure, because sometimes we think asking a particular question, and let me tell you what, spirit will get very particular with you. You ask this is what I'm going to answer. And it's like, sometimes I think that's a lesson, like to teach you a lesson to be really intentional about what the words that you use. So I will work with you to make sure that we are getting to the question that you're asking, what the information you really want to know, right? But again, I am the reader. We don't get mad at the reader because of what comes through, because I got no control over that. Okay, so you just want a general read, is what I'm seeing. Listen, hey, how are you? So you just want a general read, correct? Like nothing specific that you've got. If you have a specific question, make sure you put it in the chat. Otherwise, we will do general. We'll just ask Spirit what they want to say. Okay, so you want to know about the situation between Robert and you. What is your version of serious? Are you talking like, are we going to take things to the next level? Or is this going to become a high level commitment? Are you saying, is this going to turn into a love situation? Are you asking, is this something that could go towards marriage? Like, give me a little more specificity on what you mean by serious. There we go. Okay. Well, we're starting off with Hermetic Tarot. Okay. That's the one that sung out to me. So let's see what happens. Ooh, baby. Temperance and the Sun. I don't know if I get called to look at something. So the way that it feels is they're like pulling you forward and like putting him back. So that tells me that there's going to be a higher level of focus on you rather than whoever this Robert person is. So the Magician came out, and like literally what they said is, of all the things that you could manifest right now, that's what they said, of all the things you could manifest right now, which gives me the energy that you are in a really good place to kind of like make some shit happen in your life. Like, I don't know if you believe this or not, but the level of authority or influence you have over what could happen right here and now and what you can make happen. They're giving me somebody who is like, okay, what do you want? And they're like, I want, and it's like, it could happen. It could literally happen. Give me a hot minute. That was a lot that came out. Okay, we're going to go here first. Okay. So everybody knows that my story is you're going to get something different from every tarot reader. But I feel like I have a legitimate reason and I can articulate really well why I believe these two cards that came out together in tandem, like together, as being the fastest moving tarot cards in the deck. Some people think it's the Knight of Swords. To me, swords are all about permanent change. It is the cutting loose, cutting of cords, the severing. It is the change, trajectory change, the pivot, the stark contrast, okay, that can occur. Is he riding in on his horse? Absolutely. Does that give it some speed? Absolutely. But a sword flies through the air at a much slower pace than a wand would. You can even hear it in the sounds that it makes. By all means, whatever the sword pulls in can be a hell of a lot more fucking permanent, right? But it's not necessarily the fastest. And remember, the major arcana is more about the energy, the intent, the momentum, the overall influence of something that's happening. It's not about the fucking details, okay? So even with the Chariot, the overall influence is something being in alignment so that there's enough momentum, force, and follow through on something. That's where the absolute success and victory comes from, right? The two cards that came out is what I deem being the fastest cards in the tarot deck, right? One being that of the Eight of Wands. In traditional Rider-Waite, the Eight of Wands doesn't usually have a person in it. So it's spiritually, the speed is influenced by spirit. Like whatever's happening, occurring is influenced by spirit. Can't get any faster than what spirit wants done. I'm just going to tell you that right now. All right? Ain't nothing a human being can do that'll make something faster, that when spirit wants to intervene, when everything is focused on one area, that shit's happening, okay? And generally speaking, now we get real creative nowadays, but generally speaking, all of them are heading to the same direction. There's a focus. Exceptionally fast. Exceptionally fast. Then, when a person might be involved, or when sometimes we can go at a speed where it's like they're either we're being too preemptive and too quick without thinking, you know, or there's a need to be that impulsive. There's a need to not hesitate, right? Because this has the influence of a person. And so we're talking about the speed of a person. Sorry, Knight of Wands. You know, the one that's like, ooh, shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing. And so he's without fucking thinking. I got it. That's mine. Both of those come out with this. It's weird because it's almost as if they're saying, you're in a place where you could literally just ask for what you want. You can put your intention to it. And this is the speed of which spirit will respond at the rate in which you respond is great. But I want to give a word of caution here, because much like the Knight of Wands, he's not always thoroughly thinking about what it is that he wants. And that tells me this is a kind of situation where it's like, well, if you want it, it's almost a guarantee it'll happen. Are you thinking through this, though? Are you sure that's what you want? I think that's why they said at the beginning, it's like, of all the things you could have right now, because you are just in an energy where it's like primed and ready is what it feels like to me. Are you sure? Or are you just, because there's a lot of passion behind the Knight of Wands. There's a lot of like, you know what I mean? Something sparking your interest. And it's almost too easy to be lured in by it. You know? Knight of Wands, shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing, until the other shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, it reminds me of ADD. Squirrel! Like, you know, like, are you sure? Have you really thought this out? Like, is this really what you want? But there's a lot of like, this is also kind of like, well, if that's what you want, go for it. It's a fuck yes. Like, it'll happen, you know what I mean? Then we have this. It's weird because the way that I see it is and I don't do reversals, but it came out that way. It just landed that way. And I only keep it if spirit inclines me to. And hold on, let me make sure that I am keeping. And just so that you're aware, and this is the other thing, guys, when I start to channel, I get to going. It's not, I'll check in once in a while when there's a good break, but like the chat can distract me a little bit because once I get into a mode and it's coming through really well. And so I have to have like good spots to end. So if there's like this thing where you want to kind of like go back and forth, like, not as much. So I just want to kind of give somebody like I want to give you all that preface. Like if I'm not looking at the chat, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm in the midst of something, okay? And I just have to go with it. We got the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is all about collaboration, building together, making shit happen in this world. And it's in reverse. And funny enough, it's right here in the middle. I don't really do like spreads and stuff like that. I just let the cards tell me a story. And so in this respect, I have, anytime there's an even number of cards on each side of a center card, the center card becomes the overall energy. And if we're over here going, are you sure? Because it could happen easily. But if the Three of Pentacles, it's almost as if it's like, this to me is something that won't grow, something that won't build, something that won't, like, to me, there's not a lot of cooperation here, being on the same page. Like, that's what you need. There's not a lot of teamwork. Thank you. Spirit was like, teamwork? I was like, oh, that's a good word. Not a lot of teamwork here. It feels like, to me, the energy of two people having their own ambitions, their own desires, and their own expectations, that's not going to meld well for something to really grow. Which, since we whittled it down and said, I want to know if I'm going to, if I can get into a relationship, I feel like the answer is yeah, absolutely. And then it'll like go nowhere because we have the Seven of Cups, which is like this like never really having the same focus, feeling kind of like, I don't know. There's this confusion for some reason. There's this, do I want this? Like once you get into it, it's like, I don't know. You ever notice, like, sometimes we think we want somebody that's really well-grounded and rooted and everything else like that, and then you end up with someone that is very earthy, and you just got entirely too much fire in you. And while there's so many wonderful aspects about them, they're almost too grounded, almost where it makes you feel stagnant and pulls you out of your energy. And you start feeling like you're not able to operate, in order to keep the relationship going and to stay on the same page. Like you can't really go for the things you want. And it's like, there's nothing really wrong with the fucking person. Like it's great. And you want somebody secure, but it's almost like in order to meet them halfway, and it is a halfway, it's not as if they're not going to not let you go and do things, but it's still too much of a compromise because you feel like you're not really being authentically yourself. You're not following your inspiration. You're not, you know what I mean? And it's like, do I really? I thought that's what I wanted. Because remember, you're standing at the Seven of Cups. You're like, oh, all of these things seem really great. And here's the thing. One of those cups is somebody's fucking cup. This dude would absolutely be somebody's cup. But how many times when you're standing at the Seven of Cups and you're like, yeah, and it's like also filled with all the things that people tell you will make you happy, right? You haven't really had this yet. But I mean, intellectually, those things kind of seem like they should be on my list, right? Until you fucking get in there and you're like, right? And so it's like the idea, if you think of some of the other tarot cards, like the other decks, right? Like one of them will have like a spear in it. The other one will have like some monster coming out of it. And then some, and so it obviously not all of those cups are your cup, right? And the notion is you finally hit that wall of the 8 of cups and you're like, oh, this shit's not mine. So this tells me that's where it's living. That's where it's heading, right? Because the whole point of the 8 of cups is to leave what you thought was for you to actually go towards what is for you, which is the 9 of cups. So here's the thing. If you so choose to take this cup from him, this is the Page of Cups. And a lot of times it's got a lot more in it than what we realize, right? That's the whole point. The fact that this comes after the 7 of Cups, where I just described that some of those cups are just not for you, and you don't know really what's in the cup until you take it. So there might be things you discover once you get into the relationship. You're like, oh, this is not my cup. I don't think I want this cup. By all means, there would be an offer. There would be an offer. But paired with the 7 of Cups, I don't know if you're going to like discover, because remember, Page of Cups, something pops out of it. It's more than what you bargained for. Always. That can be good, and that cannot be good. And when I see the next card, I'm like, I don't feel like that's going to be good. Because what you find in the cup is the 10 of Swords. So the idea is, to me, that it might have the appearance of something that you want, and it may even be perfect for somebody else. So we almost kind of want to convince ourselves, right? Because it's like, well, they're not horrible. They're not terrible. I know so many people that would love that. I should be grateful, right? But then it stifles you, because there's 2 images for the 10 of Swords in other decks. Either one, getting stabbed in the back, or much like in the Secret Tarot, where all the swords are in the front, meaning you walked right the fuck into that shit. That wasn't something you didn't see, and it took you by surprise, and you can't believe. No, you walked right the fuck into it. And that's the one that I'm getting in my mind's eye. Is like, you kind of walk right the fuck into it. It's almost like trying to convince oneself that you should just be grateful for this. And here's the thing. Sometimes we find somebody who lacks all the shitty qualities that other people had, and we're thinking, oh my fucking God. But they also lack the qualities that we desire and want, and that would add to us, enrich us, and it would cause a relationship to thrive. Just because they're not shitty shit doesn't mean they're for you. So to me, this just means it would stifle you, is what I feel like it's saying. Because if you take the page between the, it looks good, I should possibly want it. Like, why not? I can try the cup. And then there's more to it than you realized. And then you have the 10 of Swords, and it's like, it almost, and combined with the example they gave me earlier, where it was like between a very earthy person and a fiery person, it's like, there's plenty of people in my life, I gotta be honest with you, that are amazing friends, and they're just awesome. And in small spurts, you would think that we had the best fucking chemistry. Put me in a relationship with them. I fucking dare you. Put me in a relationship with them. And I would I wouldn't really do that. I was trying to do the hangy thing, but that looked like I was cutting myself. That's not what I meant. It would be like, I would want to shove my head against a brick wall. Small doses. Does that make sense? Small doses. Seven of Pentacles. You'll just be left unfulfilled. It's going to be so much preparatory work, not even knowing if it's going to actually be able to work. And it's almost like the hope that it will work. But the thing I'm looking at down here is that the words, they brought me to it first foremost. Sometimes things can pop off and they'll finally blossom. But will you lose yourself in the process of trying to make it work, trying to make it something that you can deal with or live with? And it literally says down here, Lord of success unfulfilled. Like, at what cost? All the work that you would put into this to try and make it something, at what fucking cost? And I think it would be at you. Let me see if I'm where you're at. Okay. So they again, from the get-go, they were like, yeah, let's put him back. Let's focus on Scorpio or whoever that person is. And it's just the idea that they obviously don't want to bash anybody here. They keep giving me this thing. It's like somebody doesn't have to be horrible for them not to be for you. And it's perfectly okay for you to go, like I've had friends do this. Yeah, but he tries in this, and oh yeah, but they try, and it's like, and that doesn't mean they're for you or that they'll work with you just because somebody gives this much. Because that's how we get into that place where we overspill our cup, right? We overgive. A situation that the level of preparatory work, the level of trying to cultivate and fertilize this just to make something of it, not knowing if it will or not. Because the Seven of Pentacles is the garden one, right? Like all the stuff you got to do to try and start the garden, to get it ready, get it prepared, all the nurturing you have to do, and you don't even know if the seed is going to sprout. That's how we deplete our own cup. That's how we get back into the perpetual state of overgiving and not giving to ourselves, not satisfying what we want and desire, and we start focusing on somebody else just to achieve some goal because we said yes to something, and it's like, it ain't worth it, hun. It ain't worth it for you. So Spirit's like, if you're in this energy where you could absolutely get that, if you said that's what I want and started moving towards it, it would happen. I'm not so sure you're going to get what you want from that relationship though. And if they're telling and starting the entire fucking reading, like, you're in the Magician energy. You, of all the things you could ask for, of all the things you could want, that tells me you're in too much of it's a really prime energy. It's like, it just gives me the energy you could get exactly what you want. So be a little more discerning about what you want and claim it. Like, this is good fucking energy to be in. Really good energy to be in. It's like not settling. Oh, Lord. Well, I hope Spirit gave you a little bit more clarity, because it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, and we know this. We know there's people we could, you know what I mean? Because there's just enough chemistry. There's just enough camaraderie, enough passion that it's like both people would be like, sure, let's do this. And you get into a relationship. But ultimately, is it going to be the kind that you want? And is it going to be like allowing you to feel as free as possible to be yourself? Is it going to enrich your life? Or is it going to be another thing that you have to put a lot of focus, you know what I mean? Like another avenue in which you deplete yourself. And that's the point. And sometimes, and that's that Seven of Cups, like, it can look real appealing right now, but, and if we're talking about you being an energy of you can have whatever you want right now, I'd rather get exactly what I want, put that shit out there, claim it, and be willing to let this go by. Because it's almost like, how many times do we say, if I'd only known ahead of time, either because we felt like we wasted our time or because we fell into old patterns, or, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then all the energy it takes to get us back to where we were prior to the person. Even if we didn't have some traumatic event, it's like, and then like Spirit gives you the opportunity to tell you. It's like, that's the question. Like, I feel like sometimes Spirit's like, they don't listen anyway, you know, and do you by all means. Because the level of discernment you'll gain if you do go down this route, and then you reflect back onto this reading, you're like, oh yeah, I was told. And I saw, it's because that's the idea. That to me is the idea. That's why they were giving me the 10 of Swords, where it's like they're walking right into it, where the swords are in the front. Like, this isn't something that's going to take you by surprise. You walked into it willy-nilly knowing. You'll see signs along the way. So, all right. Okie dokie. You're very welcome. Hi, Kashish. I say your name's terrible. Terrible. Lalima. Hello, everybody. Okay, so who else wanted a reading? Let's see where this is gonna go. Terry, maybe Terry. I am trying to invite in some more people that are not already a part of this little collective. But I want to wait and see. Sometimes Spirit will just put the people right in front of me that really want it because they're meant to have it, kind of thing. Normally I play like games and things like that to see who gets a reading. But I am today I'm choosing people because I like to usually keep it out of my hands, so to speak. That way it's really just authentic. It's like whoever's meant to have it. But today, yeah. Thank you, Scorpio. Anybody else that wants a reading, make sure you put it in the chat if you want a personal reading. It is live here. The beautiful thing is it that I don't ask a lot of details of you. I cold read. I go into it. You ask your question and I go right into it. And you don't have to have your real name on here. So if you got your real name and you want something secretive, like not people knowing your business that it's you, by all means come back under like a different name. That's the beauty of YouTube. I don't know who you are. Don't nobody else know who you are. You can ask your question. All right, so we're going to go ahead because that was enough time. Let's see here. Yeah, well, I'm going to go with you first, Terry. And Curdy, I feel like we are going to be able to get to you. They just told me to put it back. So, Terry, was there a specific question? Or are you just like, whatever? I'm working on a committee right now, but a bit pressured. So guidance for that mostly. Okay. I heard the word no, but I don't think it's in regards to doing the reading. Thank you, LP. I don't know if you're running up against resistance. I feel like it's from a very particular source. It feels like either someone likes the word no, or someone likes to create obstructions or be like a distraction in progress. I just feel like if I could just get rid of this person, it feels like there's something there that if you could just get rid of it. Like, I don't know why, but I felt very obstructive. And it feels pointless. I got to be honest with you. We're gonna pull cards. Madame Endor's fortune telling. We're gonna start there. Yeah, I'm still getting the same. And we've got let your intentions be known, which is where, ooh, are you the one? You were the first one on this fucking chat too, dude. Or dudette, I don't know, whatever. Where I was like, I feel like this, like two people going at it kind of thing. Like there's this energy of like tit for tat, like somebody establishing their boundaries. Because that's what this feels. Let your intentions be known. This is like no longer accommodating somebody's BS, no longer accommodating and like drawing the line in the sand and calling someone out on their fucking BS. Calling somebody out is what it feels like. Because we got like revelry and indulgence, and that just feels like somebody who loves to do this. Like it's like for what purpose? Remember, I was getting like I feel like there's this energy of like, the fuck are you know what I mean? Like what is somebody's in like what is why obstruct? Why like you know what I mean? And then it's like a sly and subtle approach is necessary. Almost as if this person loves, like there's an energy of loving debate, and this could be multiple people, because it could just be the energy of individuals that resist or that like to create whatever, that it's almost like they thrive more on the challenge of things and it gives them some sense of purpose versus actually achieving any kind of cohesion or something. It's like they like it, they enjoy it. Is this the type of person that loves debate? And so if there's not something to debate, they'll create a reason to debate just because they like that. And it's like, for what, and you have to kind of like, there's like a strategy around this. It's like reverse psychology. I swear to fucking God is what it feels like. There's like a reverse psychology. It's like they want to hide bullshit, like their bullshit and tantrums and crap in the guise of like, altruism. Like I have like a genuine, sincere purpose behind this. And I feel like, again, I'm going back to like there's this energy of remember I was getting something like someone treating somebody like being almost condescending, like, oh, you don't know, you'll see. Like I'm just more wisdom than you kind of thing. I get the feeling that there are people that like the accolades of like, oh, yes. And like when they're not getting it, they're going to like fight their way. So that they like the attention. They like this very egoic, very just like, they're so used to people like lavishing them with, oh my gosh, you're so good at this. And the energy of it has to be their idea. It's just. Let me tell you what. Golden Universal. On the break, we have the Ten of Pentacles with the World card. See, it's a sly and subtle approach. Or maybe that's what you've been taking. Like you've been tiptoeing around. I'm going to say, like, you need to call this person, these people, or this person the fuck out. And almost like mirror them, because that's what I was getting before. Because I feel like instead of like them being passive aggressive and trying to create this facade of like, oh, I'm doing this in the best interest. You'd be like, no, you're not. Because if you were doing it in the best interest, it would be blah, blah, blah. There's a level of you're like calling it out. Because remember, I was getting like you know how spiritual people will try to be like, instead of dealing with their triggers, they will create a spiritual reason why they are in the right and you're in the wrong. And it's like, what? Like they'll try to manipulate something. And I think that it is holding a mirror up and showing them every which way they are creating obstruction, every way in which they are trying to manipulate the situation. And in the midst of them trying, this is what I get, in the midst of them trying to twist words, you taking the narrative back. Like, no, you don't get to insinuate that I was saying this or that I was doing this or that da-da-da. This is what was said. Always bringing them back to task is what it feels like. Bring them back to. It's holding them accountable and not letting them get away with it anymore. That's what it was. But let's see. It's like, you know, like somebody, okay, they're giving me this. You need to there's some like reframing, you know how somebody will say something, right? And you know that there is a lot of implications with what they're saying, but they don't come right out and saying it. And you know how you go, so what I hear you saying is, and you reframe it, where you use some of their words, but you also call out what they weren't willing to say. And it's almost like at the end being like, because really that would be the only reason we would do that, right? Because this is, I just feel like it's a calling out, honey. There's a calling out. All right, what about this one? That flipped in like this cute little thingy. So we have the King of Wands, Two of Pentacles. I heard compromise with this. But I feel like it's like getting them to a place of compromise. Then we have the Knight of Wands. Holy shit. And the Page of Wands? I have not ever had. Some reason the Page of Wands feels like giving them, like they just want to take the lead. They want to be the center of attention, giving them a side project. I swear that's like giving them some side quest. That is hilarious. King of Wands. Staying the course. Bringing things back to focus. Like what you need to do is bring back to focus. There's not one particular thing that needs attention or priority. This is not prioritizing something. Like you need to bring it back in focus. Let them know that what it is that they are doing and distracting is not a priority. Is not the area of focus. That is actually a distraction and is slowing the process down. It's curious. Hold on. It's like this person has ADD, I swear. I would say that they like, as soon as you wrangle them in, they're like, oh, and like they have, oh, maybe that's what it is. Like they have a lot of little side quests. Like because here's the thing: Knight of Wands is shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing, and as soon as they're not getting the type of attention they want from that, it's now this thing, now this thing, now you know what I mean. And they don't know how to compromise, but also I want to say, they're just quick to jump from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. I don't think that they're very good at what they think they're very good at. They seem a little bit erotic. Not erotic. Erratic. Oh my God. I was like, they're not erotic. Erratic. Like, you know what I mean? This is like the impulsive child. The bratty teenager that's like, I'm not, you know, that kind of thing. There's a lot of redirection with this person. A lot of reminding of what is important at this time. It reminds me of the Five of Wands, where the story is like trying to get a group of people cohesive, and this shit stir constantly derails. I think the sly and subtle approach is to give them something. I don't know why. Since they want a side quest, to give them a side quest. It's like, look at these two things. We've got to do this, but somebody needs to take care of this while we're taking care of this. I don't know why it feels like because then we have the Lovers over here, which can be about choices. I mean, you could give them an ultimatum. You could give them yeah. My mom has to go to the bathroom. So, like, it's the idea of, like, it's a little two things. It's like establishing the boundary and setting that down and redirecting everything, but then also it's calling them out. You know how, like, you play, it's like playing bad cop, good cop all at the same time, where it's like you tear somebody down and you build them back up. Like, the idea of, like, how do I put this? Like calling them out, but then giving them what they want. I know that sounds so stupid, but give them what they want. This little side quest where they feel like they're partnering with you because I want to get back in good graces. I just feel like, you know how some people will try to, after they get called out, they'll try to, like, so that they don't look negatively. Does that make sense? They'll try to appease you and get in good graces and that kind of stuff. It feels something like that. Like there's an exertion of authority that needs to happen, a refocusing of priorities, a reminder that that's not necessarily a priority, that there are multiple things that are equally important to do at this time. I feel like they'd be quick to jump on things. Give me more about this Page of Wands here. They need to feel victorious. So this is a person who, a bit erratic, a bit all over the place. doesn't know how to focus or lead, does like all these little side quests where they feel like they're accomplishing something. See, I pointed something out, and that kind of thing, because I'm asking about the Page of Wands, and they're like, there's a victory in giving them a side quest. I don't know how you maneuver that, but it's like it detracts from something that feels like it detracts them from the overall cohesive, like, where it's almost like you go, like, when adults are trying to talk, or when you're trying to do something and you're a teenager or you're preteen, and so you give them something to do, like go over to your friend's house, something they're willing and wanting to focus on, give it to them so that the grown-ups can take care of business. I know that sounds so rude, and just, but it feels that way. But give me more about the establishing the boundary, though. I just feel like they're going to be more, they'll feel like they're more like on your team if you do that. I don't know. Like if you or somebody else establishes a sense of authority in this situation, they're going to try to team up with, that might be where this comes from, this partnership. They'll try to team up because they always want to seem close to the person in authority. And if it's not them, then they're in authority by proxy and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, there's something here about establishing yourself. You're not easily, like they can't easily wash you over or get one over on you once you do that. And then they'll try to butter up to you to get back in good graces with whatever perceived authority. It sounds really, but it's true. Then we have the Four of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Give me just a second. This is more about you or anybody else in there. Like you're trying to keep some semblance of peace. You're not exerting there's a level of resistance here to exerting the truth or to speaking some kind of a truth for the sake of, I don't know, like internal peace on your behalf. But like you, or it's, are you trying to be too humble? Like, Mom, it's in your cart. It's in your cart. I already put it in there for you. Sorry, she's looking for the car keys. I'm like, I already put them in your cart. So Four of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords. Okay. You're holding back from doing this. Speaking your truth, establishing it, and almost like refocusing. Because like I look at this as a refocus. I want more on the Queen of Pentacles energy for you. Why Queen of Pentacles? Like this feels very harmonious. Like you have the capacity, you have the ability, you're just not doing it. Or someone else, I can do that, Terry, but it feels like you have the ability to do this. Even more on the Queen of Pentacles. Why? Because you're not. Because the King of Pentacles would. You have the ability to do this. In fact, I would think that you almost have the credibility to do this. And if you think that you are, you're not. I don't know why that came on. It's like this, whatever this is clamoring and wanting and desiring some level of authority. I don't feel a sense of authority in this. Because we have I just feel like we have the Judgment card. When you establish it, when you put your foot down, when you call somebody to task, things will fall in line. You're going to get what you want. Three of Wands. When you see the need and you finally step up to fulfill that need, you're going to get what you want. Because they're showing me this, like the Pied Piper, how like the Pied Piper supposedly plays his flute and like all the mice in the city follow him. because it like puts them in a trance, you know, kind of thing. And it's almost as if like this person will fall in line when you do that. It's that by proxy thing, like right now this gives them some sense of authority or some sense of like, you know, like, you know, but when you establish it, they get some kind of something from being associated with you. It sounds very, it's just how they respond. Whatever's happening right now needs this. If you step into that role, because here's the thing, nobody else has, it seems like. That's why this fucker is a man's side quest, because they feel like they're more whatever. But then when you really gather the reins up and like you're calling everybody to task, you're calling everybody up. You're going to get what you want. Your ships will come in. You're going to get what you want, including with this person. And I cannot help but feel like there's other people that would be so grateful that you did. I don't know if there is a person that's supposed to be like the head of this committee, but that sure as hell don't feel like it. I just gotta be, that's why it feels like this person's like, you know what I mean? And I don't even think that it's you claiming like, I'm going to be the leader of this, blah, 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 you know, and like, I'm going to take over. Like, it's not that. It's what you do when you show up, like when you establish those boundaries and you call somebody to task and you start calling them out on these sides and start refocusing. It's like you automatically get slotted into that. It's taking on the attributes of leadership, speaking the truth, calling something out. When you call something out, play this bugle, you're going to get exactly what you want. And that's really where the intention is being known. It's like, you know, I hear that, but this is where our focus lies. And that right there is not a priority. In fact, there's not one main priority. We've got several things to take care of. And in fact, we really need to be working on this and this. How about you take some time and a couple people, or you, whatever, if they've got any little minions, you all take care of this while we work on this. Because in this one, there is one that's slightly higher, but it's like having to juggle. Does that make sense? And so if you put it as that, where you kind of just take the reins back, somebody has to do it. I know that sounds so weird. Thank you. It does. But it's also, it saves their ego, not just their face. They love to feel important, in the know, wizened. Like, I took this up. Like, I don't fucking understand this, but like, and give them some kind of fucking side quest. And it may be something that needs to be taken care of that's not nearly as important, but you can give it this sense of like time constraints. And so therefore it is, and it really needs to be taken care of while we do this and that kind of thing. And that's why it feels like you take leadership and you set the boundaries and it's almost like setting the rules of the committee. Because it sounds like y'all didn't do that. It reminds me of like first grade when the teacher goes over the rules. We're going to establish the rules that we operate within. You know what I mean? And it's like you do it without saying these are the rules. Like you start setting boundaries and parameters. Just by you taking the initiative, just by you exerting yourself, by you calling certain things to task. And like, there's going to be a collective sigh of relief from other people around you. Like, thank the fucking Lord. And I don't get any kind of, it's funny because if there is somebody that's supposed to be, I don't feel like they feel like they're in control either. I feel like they will also appreciate that. They're not going to interpret it as somebody challenging their authority, because they're not that type of a person. They're going to be like, thank God you were able to figure out a way to get that person out. You know what I mean? Like, you can actually do it. I think you've been toying with this idea, but you've stayed back. You've held back. But you have the capacity to take care of this. Awesome. I love this. Thank you so much for this guidance, because it's something bothering me right now. Good. I know you always want the tarot sexual magic. Like, you kill me. Erotic. I can't believe I said that. They're not erotic. I mean, they might be erotic. I don't know. 7-7, that might be pertinent for somebody. Let's see here. Ooh, Anna, what were you needing verified? I am not sure. Oh, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Okay, guys. So, lovely. Let's make sure I did tell Curdy that she could get one as well. She might not be in the chat. People kind of come and go, which is perfectly okay. Let me make sure she's not here. If not, then absolutely. Curdy, are you still here? And in fact, anybody that's wanting a reading, make sure you put it in there, okay? Make sure you put something in the chat. Hey, Kelsey. So I don't know. I guess it's just going to be you, Lovely. So we'll pull something. Does he have a child? And we're going to make the assumption that Spirit understands who you're talking about in regards to this. And that we're not necessarily asking any details about the child, if there is one. Just a yes or no so that you can make your decisions, right? Accordingly. Let me figure out which deck we're going to use. We're going to use Starman Tarot again, really quick. Yes. Like, you'd have to be more specific with what you want for a reading. Either, this is the way that I do it. I tell people, give me a question, a particular question, which you kind of did. And we can kind of like let Spirit elaborate on that question, like the yes, like if they've got anything to add to the yes or no, then they can do that. But if you want to change that question, make sure, let's get particular about what you want to know. You just want answers. So what I'm going to say then is you have a lot of questions surrounding a particular individual, and you don't feel like you have all the answers or all the information, and that you would like for Spirit to shed some light on this circumstance so that you're able to make appropriate decisions. Gotcha. So then what we're going to do is, Spirit, given the circumstances of this situation, it's pertinent to know if he is hiding something from Lovely. Could you please let us know if he is hiding something and elaborate on that? Because you've got this feeling for a reason, and that's like the kind of thing where it's like, I don't want to question my intuition, but I also don't want to be like, like making shit up in my head and that kind of stuff. Let me get here. Daphne, I apologize. I butcher names like it's not even funny here, and I don't even try. It's okay. You don't have to have a specific question. If you just want, like, whatever Spirit wants to tell you, we do that as well. Okay? put this back because I feel like it was more than I was supposed to get. Although they're bringing me to something here. I don't know if 6s are important, but they're bringing me to repeating 6s. Like that was what I was supposed to take from that. Because those don't have energy at all coming from them. Which sometimes means my tiny little hands with this big ass dick. And I said deck, as in D-E-C-K. Jeez, you have a massive spirit team behind you. I don't know if you feel like you have a crowd sometimes, like a lot of eyes on you, like spiritually speaking, like a lot of ancestors, if you work with your ancestors, if you have a lot of passed on loved ones, but there's a lot of people or spirits, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Ooh, so we're going to be using some, that is funny. Today is the day of seeing things on this deck that I have not seen in what? I've had it for almost 4 years. Yeah. But we're using imagery today. Let's take a look, okay? So we have a lot of fuckers back here. Almost like supporting you, backing you, watching. And I feel like there's been conversations, and it's like you're in such you get into places of, if there's like heightened emotional states or fear rears its head, you can't hear guidance, you can't feel the guidance. But there's something like, this is the Wheel of Fortune. This means that something's about to change to go in your favor. Like energy is going to change or something like that. I don't understand this, but they're showing me this. Let's get a little closer. Do you see that? That's a noose. That's a noose. And it's coming from somebody's throat chakra. And it's funny that I'm getting this from the Wheel of Fortune. But it's almost as if someone's going to hang themselves through what they say. Like truth will come to light. Like it's the idea and notion that you just let somebody talk because they can only keep up a facade or the lies for so long. You let them talk and you let them talk and you let them talk, and they'll eventually hang themselves. Does that make sense? And it's no funny. Like the next thing that came out, I had already seen the noose, is the Ace of Swords. So truth is going to come out. The truth is going, and it's going to somehow favor you. I don't understand that, but it's going to create a better, like it's like, because up here with this, I didn't even see this earlier. Up here, the ones that I would consider spiritual, that there's like something with their throat chakra. So I feel like they've been trying to share a message with you. And for them to show up, this is somebody that these are the people that you acknowledge, that you talk to. You know, it's not like, oh, some people don't. Some people don't actually like, you know, like my father has passed. Dad, what about da da da? And I wish I could have your, you know, and like should you give me a sign? Or like they don't do that. Like there's some people that don't do that. There's people on the other side, or spirits is what I'll call it, because it also feels like spiritual team kind of stuff that you do talk to. And they're trying to change something for you. I get it. Some truth is going to come out that's going to make you stand in your power. This is so... it might be a pep talk to you. Because they have now given me 3 queens to represent you. Like, you need to take your power back. You need to stand in your fucking power. The Queen of Wands knows exactly what the fuck she wants. She has self-respect, self-confidence. She has self-love, right? She don't play. She don't chase nobody. She doesn't attach or chase no one. And maybe what they want you to change your energy for the better, change your trajectory. And like I said, there is literally a message from them that's been trying to come through. So I might be delivering their message first, where they're like it's a truth that you know, and it's a truth that you need to stand in. And it's almost as if they're like this would be like my spirit going like, bitch, the fuck you think you're doing? Remember who the fuck you are. Are you serious? You have so much to fucking offer this world. You got so much going for you. You have everything that anybody could possibly want. Queen of Pentacles. You're exceptionally nurturing and you are intuitive. What the fuck are you doing? Like, this is what it reminds me of. Like, I feel like they want to be like, they're like calling you to task a little bit. It's almost as if they're saying, you know the truth. You already know the truth. You don't let no motherfucker do this to you, is what I want to say. They're like me. I feel like whoever this is a little more mouthy. You deserve to have something a lot more reciprocal, somebody that's willing to pour into you, that brings balance to your life rather than keeps you in turmoil. 5 of Swords. Because we have like the King of Cups, right? And they're like talking like this. There's this sense of positive aspect of the King of Cups. Knows exactly what he wants. And he doesn't try to spread himself thin amongst so many different energies, seeking out validation from anybody else. He only pours into your cup, right? Negatively aspected, this is somebody who is emotionally immature and needs that from other people, needs this level of like attention, validation, adoration is what they just said, in order to feel, full. So in order to feel like their cup is full, in order to be happy, right? So a King of Cups like that is not pouring into you. They are not bringing to the table anything of equal value that you are. Because always with a 6 of Pentacles, there's someone that's receiving and somebody that's not. Always. This is an emotionally immature and insecure person. They said, look at the picture. I'm like, It's weird because the thing he's floating around on in this whatever kind of world it is some beat up, dilapidated old piece of fucking junk. And they're like, he ain't got much to fucking offer. Because usually we think of like your knight coming in on, right? Like some kind of like horse or whatever. And this is supposed to be a fucking king. He don't even have a fucking throne. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. What? The fuck is that? And it's like the negative aspect of the King of Cups is just not emotionally available. And in that lies where a lot of hurt, pain, arguments may come from. If he's seeking emotional security from anywhere and everywhere, how's he supposed to give you any of that? He ain't got none. He ain't got none. And I feel like he's got a lot in his closet. You're right. They're calling him out. The look at all these skeletons. I feel like there's a lot of people that could probably tell you the shit that he's pulled. And almost every single one of these swords is painted red to symbolize you know what. Like he has stabbed people before. And look at this one. Like she's burning up. And he's so willing to just, you know what I mean? And there's something where they're saying that he uses your own truth against you. So that to me says like he would twist your words and use your words against you to kind of like undermine you. That's very narcissistic tactic, actually. That is what narcissists do. They will take any situation, twist it so that then you are the culprit. Because I don't think that's his sort of truth. I think he is taking, like, ripped it from your hands, turn it around, and is about to shove it through you. So he might try to flip the script on you all the time if you were to ever have a conversation with him. And make it out to be your fault, your problem. Make you question yourself, second guess yourself. Then we have the Page of Swords. That's information, messages. Again, I feel like there is a message from spirit, but then also like some level of truth that has come out that you're like, you see the discrepancy, you've heard it, he's done hung himself. Like even if it's not fully the truth, you fucking know it's a lie kind of thing. But this is also like I think something very solid and evidential is about to come out. Is going to be presented to you. Is going to be revealed because the page of swords. Oh my God! It's also like the gatherer of intel. It's a sword suit, right? The person who seeks and like loves to get. This is the studier of the deck, right? Like this is the one that likes to gather all the knowledge and it's just like, you know what I mean? So that's why some people liken them to the gathering intel on somebody's watching somebody's stalking somebody kind of thing. So it's almost as if something is going to get revealed through some kind of like discovery of information. And right next to the Knight of Pentacles. But when it's paired with this, because this has already been kind of established, it's funny because I don't get the energy that he is pouring into you. I think that you're like, where's this energy going? Because it's not coming to me. The Page of Swords is almost like the evidence from that. And the Knight of Pentacles is solid, real proof. Like can't be disputed. Okay, we're gonna use this one. It's almost like you're going to get your wish. And it's something about the solid proof, and I don't know why, that's what turns your energy around, and it puts you squarely back into your power. But what they're asking you to do is to not need the hardcore proof or evidence of anything in order to do that, because you already fucking know. You're hella intuitive, and that you're really just letting him take you out of your power. Almost like acting not yourself. It's a sense of you're willing to forsake yourself for this person. Yeah, you're not willing to do, this is the Four of Pentacles, not willing to act on it until you get some kind of hardcore proof. Seven of Wands. This is know your fucking worth. It even says defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your fucking ground. And choose your battles. Like, this is like, I'm not going to let this shit happen. I know my worth. Okay. But is he or is he not? Oh, I got the love here. So let's talk about it. Is he or is he not? There's that 6 again. That's probably why the other 6s weren't lovers, but they brought me to the 6. I said, there's something about 6. Love. Is there, is he not? Mm-hmm. It's so funny because I got the 5 of Wands, which is all about the conflicts. And obviously there is conflicts within this relationship, within this situation. But the other thing is that it's like, it says bothersome details on here. And I feel like that's something he says to you. I can't be bothered with them details. Why are you focused? Like, there's something about trying to detract you from, like, your answers in the details. Like, there's shit that don't fucking add up. Can this be healed? You are trying to be given guidance on something, because we have a star card, which is almost like it's like spirit giving us the guidance, like allow like us following that, right? But then we have the Knight of Pentacles showing up again. But at the very bottom of this, it's funny. It says guardian angel right there, the very last thing. And it's like they're trying to give you guidance in this situation, and maybe they're trying to give you guidance to the hardcore proof, or they have. Have they? Have you? Okay. One more deck. This is Fallen Angels Oracle. What time is it? Okay. Okay, so I just asked if this could be healed, whatever this is, because they're not going to give me a specific yes or no on one of those two things, but they are giving me upheaval. I know it's hard to see. I'm short. I have short arms. Evaluation. Oh, I hope you can see it. And then rebirth. It's like an assessment of the facts, is what it feels like to me. Like there's a lot of upheaval in this, and there may be something more solid coming out to you. But given your recent history on how you approach this, you seem to be handing your power away, and like you allow him to make you think that you're just stupid, crazy, dumb, that's all in your head or something, and convince you otherwise. And they're saying this undeniable proof is going to come through. It's going to create a level of upheaval, and it's going to give you the chance to make your choice. You feel in the energy a little bit right now that you even get, if given hardcore evidence, that you might be like, well, and because I kept going, can this be worked out? I don't fucking know why I was asking that, because ew. But it feels that way. Like you would almost go, is this a deal breaker, right? Like, I don't know why I feel like I want to be petty with the way that I'm saying this towards you. And my spirit guides get this way with me too, because if I don't, like, if they come all with me, I'm like, I ignore the shit out of them. So upheaval and evaluation, they're like, you need to really consider this. And I feel like there's some sense of, I feel like whatever it is, it's going to come to the conclusion where it's just going to create too much turmoil in this situation. That's where the upheaval is. Something's going to end. And then it's like taking a moment to really kind of see things for what they were once this truth comes out. Because it's like, you can know, but it's something different when you know. And then it's like, then you start looking at yourself, everything you went through. And it's almost like calling yourself to task to recalibrate your energy and have this rebirth. Because it's almost like, I don't know, it's like, they keep singing that fucking Adele song. I set fire. I'm a singer. To the rain. And that's what this looks like. Watch it burn in my face. That might be the wrong words too. Don't quote me on shit. Because there's this level of this rebirth of putting you back in your fucking power where you belong and having harmony. And this idea of spirit of nature is kind of getting back to one with things again. Feeling good. Because I feel like you don't even feel good in your own environment with the world that's around you. Like this creates too much upheaval internally. Too much chaos. Too much of this. Like this is getting back to your true nature. I get it. Harmony and your true nature, which is what they're trying to remind you of. So they're actually saying this whole entire situation is going, that's where it goes in your favor. Because it's almost like somebody needs to put you back on your fucking throne. Because I don't know what the fuck you're doing. It's like somebody straightening their crown. Because I get the feeling that this has gone on for way too fucking long. Does that make sense? Like, I can't even believe, is what I want to say. And this is like owning your truth again, remembering who the fuck you are, that kind of energy. So it's almost as if it's like, I think more than anything, Spirit's saying you're going to get your proof. Because here's the thing, even if I said it in the fucking cards, you'd ignore the shit out of it. You're going to get your proof. And then you're going to put yourself back on your fucking throne and straighten your fucking crown. Okay. And it's like the rest of life, or the rest, like your harmony is going to be restored as soon as that happens. Because I get the feeling, like the way it feels is like there's a level of freedom. There's a level of expansion. There's a level of like feeling good about life again. This permeates other areas. It's almost like it overshadows shit. Does that make sense? So, that's what I'm going to say is that you're going to get your proof. If that makes sense. And that's how it's going to be handled. It's like spirit going, do you really need me to tell you? You already know. But don't worry, you'll get your proof. Okay? All right. Alrighty. Hope that helped. Okay. Oh. Wait. What? David? Hi, Manishka. Might as well do something for the next 3 weeks before I leave for training. If I even go at... Oh, what? I don't know. Only took them 2 months. Who responded? Who? What? Hold on. I gotta figure out what David said. David said something up here. I missed it. Took 2 months for who to respond? The insurance people? What? Okay, I see it. Oh, I guess I missed this one. Oh, well, I can watch the replay. Also, I got the insurance to... I know you did the work, but if I could just toot my own horn, keep at this motherfucker, because that shit's going to come through. Keep at it. Keep at it. Anyways, that was good. So let me get back to the bottom. Let's see here. Hi, Pi. Well, 3 weeks is enough for you to be able to get some sales in on your insurance. Hit that shit hard. Okay, dude? Hit it hard. Alrighty, so we're gonna go back to Curdy because Curdy was one of the ones that I was gonna read for before, and then she had to bebop out because her stuff was. I'm just reshuffling this because I've used it twice, and I do have to leave by a certain time. So let's see here. All right, Curdy, go ahead and tell me. Do you have anything specific, or are you just wanting a general read? Okay, David. Got. Well, I get to do anything. Like, yeah, I understand. Okay, so career, feeling stuck. There already. Okay, so we're going to start with new era elements. Funny, I had the Four of Pentacles, which is about stability, but it was like this. Now I'm doing reversals, but I saw it and I corrected it, so I thought I would call it out. So obviously you're feeling a little unstable. Life feels not very secure at the moment. Oh, and I do offer readings on my website, guys, which is usually found in the description. But people, like, seem to shy away from sending an email. So I will try to get it set back up some way where you can message me through the website. And then like I can determine if I'll like I've been trying to do it where I sift through and not, you know, because some people just be coming on there asking some crazy stuff and I'm like, I don't know. I like to be a little more selective about who I read for. I don't know. I gotta figure it out. I'm gonna try to get on that though, guys, okay? Well. I get the sense that you're trying to keep up a brave face. Like not let everybody see your true feelings about this, like how you're feeling about the situation, about the progress or lack thereof. It seems like, I mean, you're obviously the level of strength that it takes to stick with some spiritually guided, emotionally fulfilling type of work. Because over here we got the star card. You're following something. You're following your North Star. And it's not always easy, guys. That is not easy. Like stepping into what you feel is truly in alignment with you, it's a lot easier to fall in line with society because you come up against a lot of resistance. But it's almost like following some kind of inner compass home to right where you belong. And that's what I see here with the King of Cups being where you're following, you're actually doing the do, following your intuition, following that inner guidance, that rich inner world, allowing it to be the thing that dictates your actions, right? And then we have the Seven of Wands, which is bravery, which is like sticking to it. Because, you know, you're going to have a lot of flack and a lot of resistance in society to that. And so it's like you got to be willing to stick your guns. The Seven of Wands is all about knowing your worth and sticking with it. It is defending your beliefs against all the odds and going for that, all while trying to create something from that. The Ace of Pentacles is being able to make money from it, but also having something that can thrive, like bringing it to life external to you, rather than it just being some rich inner world, right? Or some pie in the sky dream type of thing. We're going to explore this because we have a Knight of Cups, which is obviously something that's on offer that will be so enriching. I want to say nourishing, but they're giving me enriching to you and give you a lot of, we got the Empress card, which is like, it will give birth to a lot in your world. It will bring a lot of abundance. Of course, Empress is all about that gestationary period, though, right? Like what it takes to bring that to life, you know? And then we get it feels just very centered on you. We have the King of Pentacles, Father of Earth, I know how to speak, where it's really about it's going to create success in your life. You're going to have material success from this. This is also being able to take action on it. This isn't just having the capacity to do something, it's doing it. I'm curious about the Knight of Cups, though. All right. Night Sun Tarot. This is the kind of knight that's like Knight, like the knight in shining armor, but it's Night Sun Tarot. In case anybody wanted to know. What is this Knight of Cups? Literally, I'm in the midst of asking it. It flips out and it lands on the Knight of Cups. So, something to fan that flame. Something that allows you to relentlessly go after this. Like, that gives you the ability to focus on it. What is the Knight of Cups? Okay. Knight of Cups is the thing that allows you to relentlessly go after something. Remember I said that the King of Cups is the person that actually takes action on their intuition, their rich inner world, like what they know is true. It's more than just knowing, it's the doing part, right? Based upon the knowing. And so we have the Queen of Cups. It's the following the intuition. This is the intuition. So it's almost like they are saying, because to me, the Queen of Cups mixed with the King of Wands would give me the King of Cups. King of Cups doesn't just pour his energy, time, or investment into just anything. It has to be worth his while, right? So not everything gets that. Not just anything will get his passion, his all, okay? He's real selective. And so that's where that level of focus would come for him. But it comes from a place of, because you don't get to the king without being the queen. All right? So you have to have this knowing, this understanding, this willingness to nurture it, right? But to me, this is just the etheric connection that there is to something. There's a highly spiritual connection to something, and spiritual means something different to everybody, right? But like if we're talking about, I feel spiritually connected, I feel connected at my soul. Like there's a part of me beyond just this physical and this mental that feels very connected to something. And this is like fanning that flame and relentlessly going after something. Is the Knight of Cups, because that's something on offer. That's just something on offer, in my opinion. Not my opinion, it's fucking fact, but whatever. We got 2 4s here. No, we don't. I lied. I feel like maybe Spirit is calling you out a little because you're not relentlessly going after something. Because we have the 4 of Cups, which is the resistance. Right? Like not being happy with what's the fuck in front of you. But as soon as the cup from Spirit comes out, you're like, there's a hesitancy to take that up. So whatever you're feeling spiritually guided to, like it's really part of your fabric, you're still kind of resistant to that. Even though you're also not simultaneously like totally bought into what's right in front of you, like all the other options. You know what I mean? It's like a meh kind of energy. And there's something about something coming in that might either spur you or something tempting that you're like, oh, You know what I mean? That brings a little bit of joy, a little bit of spark back to you. To get like, or this could be, that's what I want. I want to know exactly what that is. That whatever it is, it ignites and initiates you full on going after this, like being able to put your time and energy behind something. Because it's this idea of, if you weren't resistant, 3 of Wands, if you took full on action, it's like, if you take up this avenue instead of resisting it, your ships would come in. It would be well received. Okay, so this deck is not giving me the answers that I want. Kipper. They said Lenormand. All right, what is this? Knight of Cups. There might be a person that comes into your life that, because this doesn't feel like, it doesn't give me investor vibes, investment vibes. Like somebody investing in you, like somebody that's like, oh, I got the financial backing. This feels like somebody reviving you, reviving your passion. Let's see. Have you received like communication, an attempt to collaborate, somebody wanting to join forces, somebody is like, oh, this is really great. Is there a way I can help you? Is there Has somebody done that to you and you're like, I don't trust it? Because we got the snake with the message, like something coming through. But on the other side, it's like the clover, which is luck, which is good fortune, abundant. Like there might be a person that has something on offer that could be very beneficial to you, but it doesn't, I don't want to say it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it's partnery vibes, like, like we're going to do this together kind of thing, but it doesn't feel like I have Mr. Moneybags coming in and I'm going to swoop in and save you kind of thing. It's not that kind of shit. But you see it as something that might not be good for you. Like there's either hidden ulterior motives or like something untrustworthy about it. But like Spirit's like, no, it's a really good opportunity, lucky chance. Because the bees are all about working together with somebody too. Like, you know what I mean? A team effort, collaborative effort. And it's like somehow maybe working with somebody else almost, one, makes it easier to go after something, but like revives your passion for it. Like it gets you to be, it's like sometimes when somebody's working on something with you, you buy into it more, you're more committed to it. All right. Let me see. It's a really, really beneficial, good, like new thing. It's a new start. It's a new possibility. There's like, who is this? Bitch, you can trust this. This is either a friend or like very loyal, integral individual that wants to work with you. Is somebody trying to? I love how you go from it's not really something, you minimizing it, not thinking it's real, like it's not like a legit thing, and then you're like, otherwise, and you're like, oh wait. I don't know. Like it's so funny how you go from And I don't get older. This feels more like a counterpart, like a cohort, like a colleague, like somebody, you know what I mean? And it is something you're resistant to going all in on, but it actually will fuel you. Like, this is going to bring a lot of good. I would just say it would be really important for you to partner up with somebody right now, which is a big collective energy that I've even seen other tarot readers pick up on. Is like, this is the time of collaborating and working with others and networking, calling in your soul family, those types of things. Very, very trustworthy. And it is kind of funny where it does give a level of, because the lily cards are all about wisdom, like those who are older that have more experience with wisdom, with someone younger. Is this something that's meant to, it's not so much like you're looking for the thing, when Spirit's like, you just need to get momentum. Like, the idea that somehow at this moment right now, you're going to find the thing that you will do for the rest of your life. And Spirit's like, it's a journey. It's an evolution, especially when you're going after something that you feel spiritually inclined to. That's like a soul contract. If you think that you're going to get into something and do it exactly as it is for the remainder of your life, here on point blank, blah, 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 like, no. Generally speaking, when you have something that you're spiritually inclined, you go into it and it's like it morphs in phases and levels and things like that. This happens to then get you to do this. And then, it's like this expansion. So, I don't know, like, if you're looking, like, to me, it's more like the pursuit of this and going all in on something and getting your spiritual juices going again to give life to this than it is what's the right answer, the right one. Does that make sense? Because the right one is the one that gets you all fired up about it, that gets you really back into your power, that gets you back into your that fans this flame, that like, because even look at she's pregnant too. Look at that shit. She's pregnant too. Like, it's that. Whatever gets you out of this stuck, resistant energy. Right? And I feel like what you need to focus on is actually working with others and collaborating with somebody else. That doesn't mean that that's where it's all going to be for forever. And that, you know what I mean? If that's not exactly what you see, you got to think of things as your entrance to a door. Like, it's more about getting on the path than what is the path. It's like you expect some form, like some very specific thing, and it's like Spirit's like, it's a path, not a thing that you're meant to be on. And what you do will morph and take on many forms throughout your life. What you do is a process. What you do is a path, not a thing. I don't know how else to explain it than that. Almost. Anything else, Spirit? There's something here where you're going to get a lot of talk about it. I get the idea of word of mouth. It's going to spread. I think there's momentum in working with somebody else and collaborating, like the bee, like teamwork on something, because there's a lot of luck, a lot to be had, a lot of positivity. That's what this card is, all about positivity. In some level of getting people to talk, people sharing this information, people being your marketing. Like, there's talk around this. There's, you know what I'm saying? And that brings in the abundance. So there may also be a level of an easier marketing strategy for one thing. And so it brings the attention into you that people need to be aware that you fucking exist and that you can do certain things. And your magic is not in a particular one thing that you do, but it is in you showing up authentically as yourself. Like it's like being a teacher, and you can be a teacher in all kinds of different ways, right? People who are just like my sister can sit there and make me fucking listen to shit that I do not want to listen to. She starts in on something and it just draws me in. Now she is an actual teacher and she can go teach in a classroom, but then she can be driving down a road and start teaching. We can go to a museum and she has information she teaches. She does it with her kids. She does it when she's like she does it in so many forms. There's so many ways to do it, right? To teach, not just this traditional certain way that it looks, the thing that we think of as a teacher, right? And so it's the idea of that, like you're meant to do this, and it's going to find its way to people. Like people are going to be drawn naturally to you if you just find some way to showcase it. And I think that's where it's more about just pick something and put your all into it, because people are going to go, wow, you know what I mean? And it just opens the door to you. Yeah. And there's something about working with somebody else. But you obviously are very resistant to it. Some level of you don't trust it for whatever reason. So your answer is yeah, you're going to do something so long as you choose to start taking the path. I think what they're saying is your version of being stuck is really you just being resistant and kind of like saying no to stuff, like not being willing. Like you're expecting some, like as soon as I do this, this happens, and that's going to tell me I got it right. And they're like, this is a path, not like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And there's an evolutionary process, and that process can be sped up by working with others. I think this is where what I'm trying to say, it's not like that. You're like, what is the answer? And they're like, just fucking do it. Any goddamn thing. They don't give a shit. They don't fucking care. Because it's not the what you do, it's not the method in which you do it or that you implore it. It is you that makes it magical. But you're not putting your magic out there because you're not committing yourself to any one thing. You think it's one particular thing that you have to commit to, and it's not. You have to commit to yourself. So it's I don't give a shit, just follow through with something. And what will give you fuel the fire for you is actually if you work with somebody else. Like partner up with somebody. You'll feel more committed to it because you're going to feel a sense of commitment and need to follow through and integrity because you got somebody else doing it with you. They may have wisdom that they can kind of share and bestow upon you. Somebody that has a little more, and then it's like, it's not just you doing it alone. You'll have somebody to process with. You'll have somebody, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're expecting, I don't know what you're expecting. I got to be honest with you, as far as like, proof that this is it, but that's what they're saying. There isn't one thing that's it. It's you committing to something. They don't give a shit what you commit to. I got to be honest with you. It's not, but it's following through with it. You are constantly having one foot in and one foot out. And you want some kind of immediate reciprocity to let you know that you're on the right path. But as long as you are fully using your magic and your abilities in this, then it's the right path. But they're saying you need to, like, I'm going to say this one time, you need to work with other people. And that could be multiple people. And maybe like with the scenario you gave me where like somebody's trying to, like somebody's offered something, like older neighbor, and you're like, but I don't know if that's right. That's what they're talking about. But like you want spirit to tell you, and it's like, there's not one. There's not one. There's not just one. The magic sauce is you. Like, do you see how you're resistant to something just because, like, so this one, and like it's any of these, because it's all going to come for full circle anyways. You pick your poison, pick your entrance into this path. It's like having 7 doors in front of you, all of which converge into the same path. Like, I don't give a shit. It's your level of commitment. It's your level of willingness to shine. It's your level of passion towards it. It's your, you know what I mean? And having somebody there to kind of help you with it can keep you in that committed mode. But you're almost like spreading yourself thin, doing this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this-ish. And the idea and notion that you even call it a hobby is reflective of your level of commitment to it, because you're treating it as such. So Spirit's like, don't come to me asking for, should I do this, this, or this? They're like, yes. And I think the only thing that Spirit is introducing to you is the idea and notion of maybe saying yes to where there's somebody else involved, because I think that your level of follow through and commitment and passion might be ignited. Like when 2 people are like playing off of one another, it can get exciting. It can get, you know what I mean? And then you're not bearing all the responsibility on yourself. It doesn't mean that it's going to, that's the only thing you're going to do for the remainder of your life. It's like, it's going to branch, if that makes sense. So that's where your fallacy lies. It's like you want Spirit to tell you what to do instead of, and they are actually, but it's like, I had this conversation with LP the other day where it was more like, it's not the how, it's the commitment to what is it you want. What would make something a fuck yes for you? You tell Spirit, Spirit will follow through. So it's not like you can make the wrong choice. It's you make the choice and Spirit shows up with you and makes sure that something succeeds. Does that make sense? So it's almost like you just have to say yes, and then everything will fall into place. But you're not willing to fully commit or say yes because you don't have the validation or the proof. And I don't know what you want to be your proof as, like I'll know this is it if this happens. I'm sure sometimes money, like, you know what I mean? Something taking off. But it's also the idea and notion, like, also when you network with people, it's easier to reach more people, right? So if there's something where somebody's willing to partner with you on something, it gets your name in places. Because there is an element of people talking about you, people being aware of you. And sometimes having somebody vouch for you, right? Like people are really, like that's where the word of mouth comes from. So those are elements that I would pay attention to. But like here's the thing. Some people want to start a small business, right? And they're like, what business should I start? And it's like, some people are just meant to start a small business. It doesn't matter what you start. You just got to commit. But they won't fully commit because they don't know if it's going to be prosperous, if it's going to come to fruition. And it's like, you kind of need to say yes first and just do it. And then the other things will fall into play. Sometimes we will utilize, I will say up to this point, it feels like you're too quick to switch gears and not believe. Like it's the idea of, I'm not so certain I'm supposed to do that. Like it's one foot in, 1 foot out. And so there's a lack of commitment. There's a lack of, and Spirit's not going to show up. And neither is the rest of the, I don't want to say the universe, but it's like the reciprocity will not show up until you're fully in it. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it other than that. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I would like you're almost casting it out there. If Spirit's saying that there's somebody out there, then there's somebody out there. And to me, the idea of a the Knight of Cups is somebody coming to you to offer something. So, maybe it's not in the searching for the person, but committing, and the person's going to show up, right? Like that's the whole idea, like committing, and then the soul tribe comes, the reciprocity comes, the co-creation happens. But even you said, oh, there's this thing with the neighbor. It's like, it kind of sounds like there are, but you're dismissing the options that are present. Well, then wait for it. Maybe it'll show up when you actually commit to this. Because, one, I didn't say that they already did, but it does feel like there's a person that's going to approach you. And it does feel like with the snake card, like you're going to be like, And with the Four of Cups, it's a, And that's the thing. Like, why would Spirit bring in the fourth cup for you if you're technically in and out? You're so wishy-washy with Spirit. You're like, no, I'll do this. No, I'll do that. No, I'll go there. No, I'll do this. And it's like, you're so wishy-washy. Like, Spirit's like, I mean, I want to get rid of the cup. Oh, that's kind of funny. Because if you have the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups is the idea, notion of you're not satisfied with what's in front of you, but also equally not paying attention to or not being open to the cup that Spirit brings into you, right? Because that's where that very apathetic type of energy comes from in the Four of Cups. And so imagine that the fourth cup that Spirit wants to bring your way comes through a person, because that to me is what the Knight of Cups is an actual earthly energy bringing something into you. So it could be Spirit trying to act through a person that's going to happen, but Spirit's not going to send that because right now there's the idea of your lack of commitment to something, like being of two worlds almost. And so it's like once you commit, then in kind will these things show up. So that's what I would say. Like, you might want to look at your, like, pick something. Here's the thing. My mom always says this, right? Like, if you already have a job, it's easier to find another job. It's amazing when you commit to something, how opportunities, even unrelated to what you're doing, can show up. Right? And so it's like, it's better to be in action doing something than to be sitting there on the fence about anything. So maybe that's the whole point, is like, commit to something. And that gives Spirit the avenue to bring something in. Now we know how to get it to you because you've committed to it. So just take what you will from it. I'm gonna go. I'm more on the fence that it's you're not committing, and so Spirit's like, pick something, because that kept coming through, like, pick something so I know how to get this cup to you. Like, that's what it feels like to me more. But I do think, like, I absolutely feel it has everything to do with collaboration and things like that. Like, I work with a friend where there was a period of time, like, she didn't know how to market. Like, she was like, what do I do? Like the magic of her is just amazing. But sometimes she's like, I don't know how to tell people what it is that I do. And because she, like her lack of like, she didn't have anything specific to offer people, and so people didn't have anything to kind of latch onto. You know what I mean? To like seek out. And that in and of itself is massive. It's like just start somewhere. Like just offer something. And then it gives an avenue. Does that make sense? But when you're not committed to anything, that leaves too much ambiguity for spirit to be able to bring something into you. And especially if they're using the auspice of a person in this world, that's going to create resistance within the person. So that's just my okay. Thank you, LP, for helping me. So hello, everybody. Let's see here. I've got to pick up my little one. Let's see here. Elysian, I can do it. It'll probably be a quick read because I got to make sure I get off in time to go pick up little man. So, what was your question, Elysian? A quick love reading. So they brought me to the Tarot of Sexual Magic, only I'm gonna have to be careful because I don't want to set this to like only 18 and over. So there might be images that I have to like cover up or not show pieces of. Okay. But in that respect, also, this is fair shot, fair warning. This is how do I put this? It has boobies, butt cracks, and certain positions. If that is not your thing, by all means, you are more than welcome to click off the channel, okay? Because we are all grown adults. If you don't want to see something, don't look at it. And plus, there's no judgment, right? Because everybody's got their own preferences and things like that. Some people like this kind of, some people don't like me cussing. Some people don't like, it's okay. I have the same thing. I've come across readers where I'm like, I cannot with that voice. Has not a damn thing to do with how good of a reader they are. And I just assume that that's meant to be that way, right? So, but we adults around here, we're going to behave as such. Oh, I'm getting that song. Listen, it's like, it goes, living in the, I've had this before on one of my readings. Living in the real world. Oh, I know LP knows this one. I don't remember that was fast. I feel like these two are going to go together and these are over here. Do we want this? Well. We've got definitely some success that I would say in regards to finding a very giving, emotionally responsible, or maybe you're already with somebody like that. What's on here? It's so funny. Why do I feel like this dude looks like the dude, whoever it is? Like I get the energy of like scruff or a beard or some kind of crap like that. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. Maybe a little more rough of a person. that's a little more they're not going to. This person has the appearance of not really doing love. And they could have been like, maybe from other people, they look like they're not, they don't have like a lot of emotional depth, or they're one that isn't very emotional at all. But really, in actuality, I think that they're one that doesn't settle. Again, King of Cups doesn't just pour their cup into anybody, and they're going to have fun until they're willing to do that. So this person may come across as like, some people may interpret that as like emotionally immature or not emotionally available, because the King of Cups kind of like has a very stoic, you know what I mean? He doesn't share his cup with anybody. He doesn't just share his emotions and that vulnerability and that side of him with just anybody. He's selective about it, right? So there's a King of Cups where there's a level of, I forgot to cover things up, my bad. Success, Six of Wands, level of success, very pulled into somebody, like they're very attracted to. And I want to say that despite whatever their past is, or what other people would have perceived them as, they're the kind of person that's going to want to like it's the idea of like adoration and laying it on you and giving you all kinds of affection and like giving you the world. Like they're going to want to make sure you know how much you're loved, how much you see what I'm saying? It's funny though, over here we have this, there's so much to cover up over here, guys. Oh my God. I don't know how to, okay. Devil card. I wish YouTube would quit being such a pretty princess about shit. Oh my God. Because we have like, there's something that makes, like, I want to say they might have been in a rut. They were in, like, there's a big phallic thing, like, you know, beholden to an idea or a pattern in life. This could be fuckboy energy, right? Like, there's nobody worth pouring into. So I'm just going to have fun and like do whatever and not give a shit. And then you have this, which is the Hanged Man. And literally she's laying there and he's just enthralled. Like he like something about this gives like the idea of changing their tune, changing their perspective. Like they may have been in a, when we talk about pattern or rut, like of there's just nobody worth putting my time and energy into, and suddenly, poof, you change their mind. Is this somebody? Okay, I was gonna say, is this somebody present or coming in? It looks like somebody coming in that you're not gonna be aware of, because we have the Two of Pentacles. Now I always use the imagery on these decks. You're over here like putting out what you want, what you desire, right? Focusing on something like that. Your back is turned and this person is coming towards you and you're not aware. So somebody attracted to you. Why do I feel like I keep wanting to ask? This is the energy that I'm getting into. Like, I want to be like, oh, so they're single, but I can't, I don't feel single. Listen, What is up with that? What is up with that feeling of like not being certain when I ask that question? Do you sometimes pretend like you're not saying, oh, is it, oh, it's how they are. That might be you. Like, are you single? And not feeling quite certain about it. That would make sense. If there's past behavior or lack, like this is the kind of person you might assume they have a lack of commitment issues, like they have commitment issues. And so you're kind of like, they must have people. And I want to say they actually don't, but you're like not so certain. As far as this person goes, it's a yes. When they approach, it's a yes. We got the Sun card with the Queen of Chalices. She just welcomes this person in. Like she is just enveloping this dude, like pulling him to her bosom and wrapping her legs around, and it's like bring him in. So where is the confusion on their part? Okay, give me I want to understand this. Where is this coming from? This like this idea notion that I can't figure out. Like the inner, I'm like, usually I can feel the energy and something feels single, something feels, you know what I mean, a certain way. And I'm like, it doesn't feel that way. And it could be clouded because this person gives off that energy and has been like just doing them. And so it's like, you know, they may have been dating and stuff, but there's no level of commitment. Oh, never mind. Is it because you're still hooked on or stuck on somebody else? 5 of Cups. See, here's the thing. You got somebody offering something in, right? But over here, you got all this emotion, this well of emotion, and ghosts of people past. That's a face. I know you can't see it very well. Take a look. That's a face floating in the water. See that? And then over here, it's like you still got a little something for somebody else. That's why somebody doesn't feel single. Somebody's still in your energy field. Now, it could be just as far as like they impact how you approach life, your outlook on love, your whatever. And so it makes you hesitant and question taking any new offers. Why is this still here? Why is this energy still in someone's emotional realm? It might have been a long time. We've got 2 5s, which indicates some kind of level of change that is necessary, is going to be happening. There's also this idea of this person seeing 2 other people hook up over here, but yet they're still carrying, they're not saying anything, the sword's down, so there's no communication, but there's still like a flame, a flicker going for something, but yet the cup is empty. It's weird. It's almost like maybe you might still have anger towards a past incident, and that might color how you approach anybody that approaches you. And the funny thing is like, we would deny the shit out of this. Can I just say, no, I don't. But it still dictates how you maneuver. This isn't the person approaching you. So how's this going to play out? What's this? Is this a new person coming in? How are we approaching this? What's the most important takeaway? You feel untouchable. I got to be honest with you. See, that's where this confusion is coming from. Because I'm like, why does someone not feel single, but doesn't feel committed either? Like it just feels ambiguous. It feels very ambiguous. And you might project onto this person, like feeling like, oh, they've indulged in all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. Like you may view them as being like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how committed they are. I don't know if they really want something like this. I don't know if they're really, ready for something like this. They're always out dating. I don't know. But really the person that's very ambiguous is you. You don't feel so. We got the 7 of Swords. Take a look at this. Okay. She's over here looking at, oh, kind of thing, but it feels very disconnected. There's like a major disconnect. Like she's looking at the flowers longingly, like somebody like else gave it to her, when she's got somebody right there with her. And they don't look too happy. They look kind of confused and unsure and like withdrawn. It's funny. I think there's a person that you would match really well for you, that you would sit there and paint as playboy type of energy, whatever, or like non-committal or emotionally immature, because you don't have any evidence that they can actually commit or something, when in actuality the person that has commitment issues, and whether you would agree to it or not, is going to be you, because you still have energy remnants in your field from some past BS. And this person would pick up on it really quick, but you don't see that in yourself. So there's like somebody here that's very, like gives the air of not being very emotionally connected to people. But the truth of the matter is this person has a deep well of emotions, is very nurturing, is very giving, very loving. And the person that would be the cold shoulder would actually be you. It's funny because I feel like it feels like a projection, almost like this person is made out to be one way because of, I guess, what you can perceive external, but it's not. Like there's a massive desire to have success with you. They want to share the world with you. That's what this person would be like. And it's like you questioning them is almost more of a reflection of you than it is of them. Funny thing is, right down here, we've got it's like a say yes. It's like this would be great. This would be amazing sun card, right? And it's like maybe they're telling you to welcome this person in, because this energy says you're not as welcoming as you would project it being an issue with them when it's really just an issue with you. Let's find out about this really quick, and then I will 131. Yeah, I gotta go in just a minute. There we go. That's okay. Thank you, Lucian. That makes sense. Okay. So yeah, like that's, but this other person that desires you, they're not going to say something to you about it, but they're picking up on it. They know that there's somebody else in your emotional field. Okay. And like the thing is, the only way for this to move forward is for you to get on board. We got the Chariot here. Y'all remember, Chariot's about the overall energy. The Chariot is when two things are in alignment, are on the same page, shit moves forward and moves forward fast. There's a lot of momentum and victory to be had with this, but you got to be on board. And in this particular one, you seem to be asleep on somebody. Here they are. Because right here in this particular one, the bulls, the sphinxes, the horses, they're facing two different directions. Ain't shit gonna happen. You both gotta be on the same page. You gotta be in it as much as them. And the funny thing is, they don't normally just give out their love to anybody. It gives the energy you're sleeping on somebody. You're sleeping on them. Tell me about the person still in her energy field. Yeah, that's why you're so resistant. So the nine of wands, you got a wall up. Big old wall. Tell me about the other person. Tower. Not good. Not good. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. That's bad news. Lots of damage. Lots of damage there. We got the Ace of Cups with the Tower. Like, that's not, the Tower's a faulty one. It fell down for a reason. To me, that's like, that wasn't true love. By all means, this would be somebody that would would love the idea of being able to still have some kind of influence over you and keep you from wanting to be with somebody else. But like, no, they're not really in it for you. And to me, if we're talking about the Tower and the fact that it crumbles because it's on a faulty foundation, and mixed with the Ace of Cups, which is supposed to be love, it's like, that's not real love. Like, something about it is not a secure love. That's not real love. Like, whatever would happen with the past person would not be built on true, genuine, sincere love, and therefore would falter, period. So it's funny that you're asking about love, and they're like, you could have it. You're the one that's opting out. It's like you're resistant to your wish. We got 9-9. 9 of Cups with the 9 of Wands. Totally resisting it. So yeah, you got a decision to make. 2 of Swords. Take a look at this one. Always where it's like, you're kind of like, maybe, yeah, but then you're like, you're turning away. Like, this is the Bachelor. He's offering you the flower. And you're him and haunt. You have 2 worlds right now. You're split. And it's like the only thing standing in the way. I mean, there's something about the other person that piques your interest, right? But you're still resistant. And when we're talking about the 2 of Swords, you're going to have to come to the decision yourself. You're going to have to decide. You have somebody in your purview that's that's willing to show up, willing to do whatever it is to make sure that it's a success, to kind of like wants to experience this world with you, that wants to like give you the world, and is like, to them it's a fuck yes, but like, you are turning away from it, and all they really want is for you to welcome them in. They can sense and feel that you're resistant. There's something else going on, but they're not communicating it, not at all. And the funny thing is, look at how butt naked this person is. They are more vulnerable than I think what you're used to. They would be willing to go there with you. It's just you that won't. So and the funny thing is that like, I feel like this person is a stark contrast from whoever is in the past as well. Because if we use the Hanged Man with the Devil, it's almost like also, and that's the funny thing. It's so funny because whoever this person is, some people might be like, oh, like they would think that he's kind of like, and he's not. He's more in it than he sees something in you, though. He for sure do. And maybe you just need to do a little bit of cleansing to get that devil energy out of your, because, yeah, no. It is not good for you. And it's holding you back. Whoever that past person is. Holding you back. Oh, sorry. Wait, what? You're welcome, Alishan. Send me a message, Anna. Oh, love you too. All right, guys, I do have to hop off. We'll try to make this more regular and everything else like that, but I'm going to have to hop off because kiddos, you all know how it goes. Hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful day, and I will be back on again later this week. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it, guys.